Hello and welcome to The Hardest Part, the show that unravels the stories behind some of the most challenging songs ever written. I'm Kieron Banerji and joining me in the studio today is a folk bitch trio.
The song is called Sarah, and I think it might be the oldest song, one of the oldest songs on the record. And yeah, it was written after a breakup, one of many breakups, and with this one person. I'm really outing myself right now. I think we chose it because, we didn't sing it for a long time. I think because I found it really cringe, or like I was just kind of...
It's very earnest.
It's quite overly earnest.
And emotional.
And I think I just couldn't deal with it.
I find it emotional to sing.
Yeah.
I didn't even write it, yeah.
There you go.
I guess
share one heart.
Scenario
Three brains, one heart.
Yeah, we shared a lot. I think we all knew that it was going to be on the record, but I was still quite reluctant. I kind of wanted to write a new song to have on the record instead. We recorded it and really didn't know where it was going to go, I guess.
Yeah.
With in terms of instrumentation, because it was written on an acoustic and I was like, it just sounds too kind of trad folk, and I think and then
I feel like we were trying to compensate for the earnest way the song was written with this kind of dirty electric sound, and it was just kind of going too far the other way and blanketing the song. We kind of needed to scrap it and start again in the studio.
I'm always super interested when the song obviously originated, probably you wrote it by yourself, alone.
Yeah.
How do you then take that, present it to the rest of the band, and then how do you put your personal stamp on something which is so personal to someone else as a songwriter? You know, it's going to become a folk bitch trio song.
Yeah. So all the songs on the record have the band in mind. That's always kind of in the back of our minds, and that was definitely in this song, even though it's extremely personal. But I guess it kind of it shifts when we sing it together and we arrange it together. When I first wrote it, sounds a lot different to how it sounds now.
It's probably a good bridge then, so I'd love to know the evolution of a folk bitch trio song. So can you maybe tell us how it built upon the idea you brought?
I feel like I remember writing it on a nylon string and then showing it to you, and we were living with each other. Maybe we weren't fighting, but we were just in a weird spot.
What did I say?
I just remember you I showed it to you, and then I think you or both of us were crying or something, or teary, and you said something and I don't think I'd written a song in a really long time, and you were like, oh, you're back or something. I remember, and then we were both
I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when
you hadn't
when
written a
you guys
song in
then played it
ages.
to me, because we were somewhere. But it would have been before we
That
really...
makes sense.
Yeah, we were absolutely somewhere.
we were not in...
I reckon it was about 2021, and I reckon that you sent it as a voice memo to us.
Probably,
in
that's
the group
usually how it
chat
goes.
as well.
Okay, I remember now. We were in Sandy Point. We were on it was a 5-day snap lockdown in something adjacent to that. It was COVID times, and we went to Heidi's family friend's beach house for 5 days.
Went to Sandy Point?
In January of 2021.
Is that why we went?
What? Yeah, because we wanted to escape COVID, I remember. And you guys showed me, we were on a porch.
When did we ever do that?
Yeah, well, no, we did do
In
that.
January
we went to
of
Sandy
2021.
Point.
Was it just
Remember?
the three of us?
Just the three of us.
We
went and
Monty
stayed
was
with...
there, Mika was there.
No memory.
Yeah.
Of this.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I was singing Dead Skunk.
I remember you showing me that then.
Seriously have no memory of this. This is actually freaking me out.
You're learning something.
We're very jet lagged. I'm feeling like my memory's pretty out of it right now.
I'm just that's crazy. Okay, yeah, well that's I guess what happened.
That's when you guys showed me the song. Now I know the...
I had nothing to do with it, but I was there.
Now I'm trying to think about where it progressed, because I feel like...
Well, I think it took a lot of workshopping even from the start, because it had its original identity, which I struggled to think about how the song sounded at that point. But then we put it to bed for ages, I think directly after you broke up with Redacted. You didn't really want to play it live, and so I think we stopped playing it for a while.
Sarah was only a setlist placeholder as well.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not going to be the title.
Oh, she's not called Sarah.
No, she is called Sarah.
It was just
I was
place.
wondering why you're redacting it, because it seems the song's called Sarah.
No,
so-
I was like, there's absolutely no way that we're going to call this song Sarah. And then
And it just
then you guys were
turning up that
very
way
adamant. And now
on the
I've just
set list.
remembered it wasn't Sandy Point, it was Barwon Heads.
Checks out.
That's why I couldn't remember, because different coastlines.
Fair play.
I imagine to most of our audience, whether it's Bounce Head or Sandy Point, it's not going to
Barwon
mean
Heads.
anything.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't worry
very
about
different.
Yeah.
They sound
very
nice.
different.
Yeah, it is nice.
it. Very great beaches in Australia.
At a certain point, we added an outro which then didn't make it onto the record, but like revived it. There was also a stop in the middle of the song. There was an a cappella moment. All these things that just like when we got into the studio, it just felt like such an earnest love song, and that there was no kind of, the nuances were missing. And yeah, we like stopped and started with this song so many times and all went a bit crazy. It was definitely Heidi's guitar tone that saved it, because we had this pedal that we also can't remember what it was called. Did you ever find out?
I found out. It was an event-tied pedal that our producer Tom Healy had like 4 of these things, and it was a mangled
presets on it, right?
Yeah, it had all these like crazy presets, and this one was called Mangled Verb.
And that's what it sounds like. And it sounds mangled, and I think that helps because it gives the song this kind of like soaring like space. Yeah, it just kind of made it less of an earnest love song. And we also took out the outro, which controversial choice to some listeners, but
you'll never know if you didn't see it live.
Yeah.
Well, the pedal you just used in the session you just did for us, that wasn't the mangled.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
they're quite expensive.
They're very expensive.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. And they're huge. They're like that big. Yeah, not really a tourable rig, and also we only use it on that one song. Pedals that we were using just before are kind of, they don't really emulate it, but I guess because the guitar intro on the record is like, it's not what we're playing live usually, just because of how many guitars are on the record.
So you said you started workshopping the song. What does workshopping look like within the band?
Sit down, kitchen table.
Yeah, it usually looks a lot like that.
That doesn't sound right.
Okay.
Yeah. What about this? That don't sound right.
It sounds like an intervention.
Sing it different.
Yeah.
Workshop.
Yeah, songwriting with us is an intervention.
It's usually just us sitting down and figuring out what sounds.
Most of the time we play a song live like a million times before it gets to its final form, which feels like a nice testing ground, I think.
The road testing.
Yeah.
We've had loads of artists on the show that have obviously brought songs that have like a very personal meaning to them. Some about breakups, some about loss. How does the process differ for you writing about something so personal than it might another topic or another, we'll probably have loads of people in the audience who are also songwriters or dealing with writing about a difficult subject. And, how does that process look for you, and any advice you'd give to anyone that's embarking on that same like quite personal journey?
For me, songs just kind of like fall out or something. And like a song like that, I think was very, like, I was at that point obviously just very emotional and was quite a sort of literal telling of what was going on. Other songs that we written, I feel like can just like fall out in a really natural way. Like God's a Different Sword, that just sort of happened, and it's sort of more like of a happy song. I think it's always the same for me now that I'm thinking about it. Like it's just kind of falls out. But I feel like we're all kind of being a little bit more deliberate with our songwriting now and like making it this like a day-to-day kind of practice. But I think those earlier songs, for me at least, were just sort of random like rambles, I suppose.
Yeah. And I think you just have to like bear the vulnerability as well, because I feel like in the early days I was definitely so conscious of like how earnest of a practice songwriting is, and like how cringy it can be to listen back on songs that you've written about moments in your life, but you just kind of got to get over it. And I think us having each other is so helpful for that, because like innately always Sarah, way less cringe and earnest to me than it is to you, because it didn't happen to me. And so your like telling of that moment in your life is so much more objective, and I'm able to kind of see it at face value, whereas when it's about your own life, that can just feel so uncomfortable, but you just got to get over it. And so I feel very lucky to have two songwriters. It's kind of like two thresholds that you have to pass before the song becomes itself.
And two trusted pairs of ears before it then goes to random people as well.
That's a very important part, that like, I know that if I write a really bad song that these guys will tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which has never really happened, because I think we're good songwriters, but like if you guys came to me with a cooked song, I'd be real about it.
That's definitely happened where we've been like, that's not it.
It's not your best work.
That's not your best work.
Yeah.
No, also with songs, there's definitely been songs where it's like, that's not your best work. Thanks for showing.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing
Try
that.
again.
That's not your best work.
Yeah.
I love the term cooked. I've never
Is it
heard
fully
it so
cooked?
many times, and I have in the last hour, and I'm really into it.
Yeah, we do say it quite a bit, don't we?
Yeah.
Have we
Is
said
that an
it in
Aussie thing?
Have we said it in
think
it?
so.
It sounds a
Must
bit
be.
cooked.
Yeah, I think you called your guitar tone cooked earlier.
Oh, yeah,
possibly.
yeah, probably.
It's a bit cooked.
We do, I guess we do say that. I guess that is an Australian thing.
Yeah.
Who produced the song?
Well,
Thomas
we
Healy.
did with Tom Healy.
Tom Seeley.
Yeah.
We co-produced our record, all 10 songs, with just us and Tom Healy engineering to tape all of it.
All
So,
of it's
yeah.
to tape.
Yeah,
Amazing.
the whole record's to tape. We did a lot of stuff post-production. I think Mangled Reverb came in the lab, which was our
It
post-production
did.
studio.
I found a video of that today.
Because I think Sarah was one of those songs. I think there were maybe 2 songs on the record that when we left our, I guess, tracking studio, which was Roundhead Studios in Auckland, where we had the tape machine, there are a few songs that definitely weren't there yet in terms of how they were sounding, and it was a bit of a puzzle. And yeah, the Mangled Verb came through digital.
We had there were drums on this song, and I remember, I think there were drums on the entire recording. We got Chris to do those drums, and I think by the, like,
We incrementally took them out.
away like the drums and a few other things, and I think it was just, I think because of the drums and a few other things, it was like sounding really folky. I remember being in Roundhead and just being in the...
It also had piano at one point in its life too.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
it was the like task for us was like trying to make it not sound like a Nick Drake song, because it just had this inherent
we love Nick
folky,
Drake, but
so
we just
beautiful,
we
but
just,
like we can't rip him off.
Yeah.
And it just sounded like
Pink Moon or
Pink Moon,
something.
yeah. It sounded
It sounded like, and I think the chords are really similar, like
Yeah.
looking back now. So we kind of stripped it all back, and then, but I just remember feeling so upset that we hadn't nailed it, and we were our time in Auckland was like getting shorter
Well,
and shorter.
I think we were all on the edge a little bit, and like you definitely were, with like whether or not the song was going to be on the record. That like if it was going to be on the record, it had to be really good, and so it was kind of an extra pressure on the recording. Whereas the other songs, I think we were okay with them having a little bit of a raw quality because of the tape and how we were doing everything. But I feel like we were being perfectionists about it.
And I think because of Tom, our producer, he just knew how to like calm us all down.
Yeah, he seemed to be quite an expert in understanding nuances of recording a really vulnerable, folky song that if you do it the wrong way, it's not going to be that good. You know,
It's not going to be that good, and it's going to leave you in emotional distress.
You can't
to be
get
like,
away
I
with
fucked
much.
it.
Yeah. Did you find performing and writing that song helped process whatever the subject was about?
I'm finding that it's actually quite nice to, when we're performing, to actually kind of, because you can totally separate from the song or from the, like, what you're performing in the moment, but I think it's kind of become quite a nice practice for me, at least, to just kind of feel it. And obviously, like, the song's so old now that I feel very separated from the content. I think for me, I don't know, do you guys find that with...
Yeah, definitely.
We've had tons of artists that have always been like, it took me 5 years to even be able to, it was making it worse.
Yeah,
And then we had to come back five years later, and then it kind of was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had
No, I think
loads of really
it's
interesting
always cathartic.
I found it very hard performing it when said person was watching. That was always really hard. That's always hard. Always hard doing that. It's just like a gross, like, because your feelings, it's so earnest, and
Yeah.
you're singing it to the person. It's just like, it's always going to be weird.
So we finish these interviews with the same question with everyone. And it comes from a place of band I really, really like, unnamed, Redacted. Redacted, yeah, because I would really like to have them on the show. New album came out. I thought it was shit. I really didn't like it. I was like, God, I missed.
Redacted.
Yeah, the song was called Redacted. Then I listened to an interview of the lead singer talking about all these really small nuances within the song. And then when I re-listened to the song, it's now my favourite track of theirs.
But did you think the whole record was bad?
Specifically the song that everyone was going on about, like, oh, but that song's good, right? And then they're like, listen to this interview, and I was like, okay. And like, you know, it was about like loss and all these nuances, just in the vocal technique he was using to like help convey his grief, and it just changed everything for me.
Wow. Yeah.
So our audience about to hear Wicked Session you just did for us. Is there anything you want them to specifically listen out for, which is going to change the way that they experience it?
I have one thing.
Oh, go, please. I have no idea.
Which is, I think on the record, it's one of my proudest moments is that there's a unison line in Sarah. It's the only time that we sing unison on the record, and we do a pretty good job.
And you're also singing the middle part, which...
Yeah, the only time.
That doesn't happen otherwise.
I'm impaired for singing low harmonies. I really struggle with it. So yeah, Sarah's the only song that I ever am not singing the top part on. It is unusual.
Folk Bitch Trio, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thanks
for having us.
'cause you've got my love underneath your heels. And where do you go, where do you go, my darling, for weeks on end, 'cause I can't ever need you. Security's showing now, gut-wrenching with all that self-doubt. And I'd like you to see me without your eyes. Please tell me you might go and try. From here, 'cause you've got my love underneath your heels. And where do you go, where do you go, my darling, for weeks on end, 'cause I can't ever need you.
Thanks for tuning in to The Hardest Part. Make sure to leave us a review and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all major podcast platforms, including YouTube. Until next time, I'm Kieron Banerji. We'll see you then.